Hi, my name is Antony King and I'm currently doing front house for Depeche Mode. And we are here live in the Mercedes-Benz arena. I try not to. I mean, I have a good team. I have Terence, Richard and Alessandro around me, so they keep on make sure that my stuff works. I don't think you should I don't think about disaster. It depends on a show like tonight when there's a lot of people that I know that are coming who are, interesting. It's exciting, but rather than not so much nervous anymore, I guess. Yeah, I don't think you shouldn't get scared. I mean, if you kind of each while, have to think you know what you're doing. And your equipment is, well serviced and plugged in correctly. It's more excitement than like terrified, Just it's exciting to do that. Well, there were some issues with the console. I was using it 2 tours ago. Every 9 hours, the buffer would reset. It would drop out the audio for 9 seconds, and it took a couple of times. It took a few shows to figure out what was actually happening. We sent it back to the owners, the company, and they eventually figured out what was happening and made a patch. But yeah, that's pretty boring when 9 seconds of silence in the middle of a stadium, which it was outdoors at the time, like Berlin Olympic Stadium. There's 80,000 people. Silence. It's pretty boring. I mean, I love Sequoia for many, many reasons, but the number one reason, it's never crashed. In 10 years that I've been using Sequoia, I've never crashed. Sometimes I didn't even run a backup, because it just never crashes. And when you're recording 114 channels as we are now, and it never goes wrong, and we record it every single night on both machines, it never crashes. And that's a number one for me. It works. It never goes wrong. And that's what I really like about Sequoia. Yeah. On top of the fact that, number one, you will talk to any interface, which a lot of other DAWs will not. They will tie to one thing, so you can put any card in the back. We use RME because I love the way they sound in there. So you can put it doesn't matter what interface you have, it'll talk to it. It'll always work. And it's fun because it has EQ on every channel, which a lot of DAWs don't. It has, there's gates. It comes as a functioning package. You don't need, if you just had Sequoia, you could have fun. It has plenty of things on board, and then you can buy more plugins and spend all your pocket money on very, very expensive things. But as a software package, it just works. That's what I like the most about it. We record 114 channels every night on 2 MADI streams. So we have two separate MADI streams. Yeah, this will be reused I'm sure will be used to record the DVD. I don't know where it's going to be yet. In fact, it was in this very arena 4 years ago. We did the DVD, all recorded on Sequoia. As you will see in the credits, it says "Thank you, Sequoia" at the bottom. That would spoil the magic, wouldn't it? I mean, yeah. But yeah, you don't want to spoil the magic, yeah. But I mean, there's also, I think sometimes mistakes are nice. I don't think you should. Perfection is boring, isn't it? Mistakes are fun. It makes the moment more unique. And if you were there on the night and you heard the mistake, then it's still there. It's still there. It's the same show you went to. Yeah, I mean, drums are very, very important, if not one of the most important things on stage, especially in live music, because no drums, no one dances. And Depeche Mode it's like electronic. It's dance music. It needs a beat. Otherwise people don't get excited. So I just did a lot of things. I mean, I have a rack of toys, because you can. You use the Chandler TG1. I have some transient designers. I have a Fatso on the snare, Rev 7, all sorts of stuff on the drums, and parallel compression as well. An RMX 16 UAD going through the Sequoia. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I have one philosophy for drums. I think just the big, especially with a band like this, the bigger and fatter you can make them. And we're lucky we have a great drummer. Christian Eigner is a very good drummer. there's like two parts to that really, because I mean, one, the bass needs to not interfere with the kick drum. Very important, otherwise you lose a lot of the impact if you start, there's things thumping and you're wobbling over the top of it. Very important to try and carve out a space for both of them in the mix. And then once you start obviously throwing bass into a building like this, sometimes it's easier outdoors, like at the Olympic Stadium, there's no walls, so you can push a little more bass. When you're indoors, it can go under the bleachers and under all the tribunes you can see at the back here. And start, you get some reflections, your cancellations. So then on top of that, you have to try and find the right frequencies, but keep the maximum impact of everything. I find that's the most important part of it. Yeah, no sound check. The band never sound checks. Which is great, because a sound check is, in my opinion, a sound check is a rehearsal. If you want to rehearse a new song, come down to sound check, or if you have an issue, it's great. But just the guys sound check every day, it's a waste of time in the modern age. Back then when we had analog consoles, you needed someone to play, But now I have Sequoia. I record every night. I go and find a song I want to work on. I press play, virtual playback on the SSL. It's as if the band are on stage. Except the band are playing a show. They're not at sound check when they're like, when sitting there going, did I get, when's lunch, when's dinner, why am I here? They're playing like as hard, they're hitting hard, and they're in the moment. So you actually get a true replication of what it would actually sound that night. Yeah, every guitar has a preset in the console, but it also has a preset on stage, which is very important. He has a Kemper and a Rivera amp, which are all programmable. So everything is set per guitar, per song. Yeah, there's a click. Yeah, I mean, as you know, in Depeche Mode, some of the bass lines are obviously been, famously off reel to reel for a very long time. So, yeah, there is a click on a lot of songs. Yeah. The main difference obviously is the walls. If you're outdoors, you've just got fresh air, and that's fantastic because it doesn't bounce back. The more enclosed. If you put a roof on it, you've got a fishbowl, essentially. So you get so many more reflections indoors. So it's actually it's probably harder to deal with indoors than it is outdoors, to be honest. Unless you're playing a stadium side on. Obviously, if you play lengthways, it's great. If you play side on, then the reflections can be really nasty on stage. It's obviously a lot closer to, you're firing right into a big pile of plastic, But yeah, indoors, the minute you put a roof on it, you get so many more reflections. So all these beautiful reverbs you had outdoors, obviously you need to rein it in a touch, obviously, because the venue adds that much more reverb to your sound anyway, whether you like it or not, So that's it's more fun outdoors, but indoors you learn to deal with it, yeah. I mean, yeah, the anonymity is quite nice, obviously, because you can walk around town on a day off and not get bothered by all the fans who are here and stuff. But you don't stay completely anonymous, because some fans will always try and find out who you are, and then they'll watch videos and find out who I am. But that's fine. They're all nice people, It doesn't bother me either way. But yeah, I mean, I'm not here to be a superstar. I'm just here to service the band. I'd rather the kids just looked at the band and thought about the show, rather than thinking about, oh, look at the sound guy, what's he doing, But it's fun. Now some guy get really nerdy, they come up to the desk and hey, what are you using on this? What are you doing with that? It's fun, I'll talk to them if they're interested, and if it encourages them to become sound engineers or get involved in music, then all the better. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I think you could do interesting things beyond just with the audio. You could do a lot more surround and interesting things. I mean, I saw the Tupac one at Coachella a few years back now, and it looked pretty cool. And, I think if you're a super fan, if you're a fan of the band and like someone's missing, you could add them back into the picture and still keep the band going. Like with that, it worked quite well because the other guys were all rapping, and then suddenly Tupac came out. I think there's an impact. But I think, it's a bit of you need more than just this hologram, because I think otherwise you're watching TV, aren't you? It's not you need to do more to make it a live show. It's got to be exciting. It's not just some guy on the screen replaying a show from 20 years ago, Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I think you can do some interesting things because it's not a human being. You could make him walk around the whole ceiling and send him up there on a screen or something. You know, make it more of an interactive experience for the kids. Yeah, it could be fun.